Tyler Seguin is nearing a return, which is a great sign for Matt Duchene and Mason Marchment. The Stars take on the number one team in the NHL, and this week it's Mike Modano week. We immortalize number 9 forever.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans, and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan and play-by-play voice of the Chippewa Steel. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Big one tonight, Stars fans. The Dallas Stars take on the number one team in the NHL, the Florida Panthers, coming to town. Tyler Seguin is continuing to skate. He is nearing a return, which should be a great thing for Mason Marchment and Matt Duchene. Some of the numbers from those two may be a bit shocking, even though it hasn't hurt the overall numbers from the Dallas Stars, and we will dive into that a bit on today's episode, as well as a preview of Mike Modano, a wonderful article put out on DallasStars.com by Josh Clark. Want to preview some of the Mike Modano stuff as the week continues on. Going to be excited to unveil the statue in front of the American Airlines Center on Saturday. A ton to get into today. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Stars back in action, which is always a good thing. Today's episode is brought to you by Sleeper. Download the Sleeper app. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL to get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. So Pete DeBoer had an update on Tyler Seguin yesterday. He is close, but certainly not ready yet, but is a great sign, all things considered. It's been a while since Seguin has been in the lineup. It's hard to believe. It's almost been a month. We're about 10 days away from it being exactly a month since Tyler Seguin has been in the lineup. He played his last game on February 22nd against the Ottawa Senators, and he's been having such a good season. That's also something not to forget. 45 points in 58 games, 20 goals, and 25 assists. It's been a huge resurgence for Tyler Seguin. In his previous 2 years, he had 50 points and 49. And unfortunately, he's missing a good chunk of the season. But as I said yesterday, it's important that Tyler Seguin is fully healthy come playoff time, and he was all smiles yesterday during practice. So good things are ahead for Mr. Tyler Seguin. But I looked into some of the numbers with Seguin out of the lineup, and I think it's almost shocking, I guess, how poor, and that's not the right way to put it, but the numbers are pretty low for Matt Duchene and Mason Marchment since Seguin went out of the lineup. And it was something I would not have expected for somebody like Matt Duchene, because he is the real driver of that trio. He absolutely is. He has the giddy up. Of course, Marchment is probably the best forechecker on the Dallas Stars in terms of being physical and creating havoc and creating turnovers. But Matt Duchene is the one that creates a ton of that offense. He facilitates. He can create offense for himself because he's so shifty. He's so mobile. And he's a great 200-foot player. But since Tyler Seguin went down with an injury, the Stars have played 9 games, and Matt Duchene just has 3 points and 1 goal in those 9 games, along with Mason Marchment, who just has a goal and an assist in those 9 games. Leading the way for the Stars has been Wyatt Johnston, Jamie Benn, and Miro Heiskanen. They both have, or all three, I should say, 10 points during that stretch without Seguin. So very interesting there how much of an effect it has had on Matt Duchene and Mason Marchment. And of course, the Stars have played around with adding a winger to that line. We've even seen Craig Smith as of late a bit Ty Dellandrea had the first opportunity, and he has shown some flashes, but hasn't been real consistent. Sam Steele has also had a bit of a stay there with that line, but no real one winger has really stepped up and taken control of that spot. So Tyler Seguin coming back will more than likely put that line back at the best on the Dallas Stars. They were the best trio, the most consistent, at least throughout the season. At some point, we had to acknowledge this is the top line for the Dallas Stars. They were one of the best lines in all of hockey in terms of expected goals this season, and that's up where in the likes with Connor McDavid and some of his line mates. They were that good. But what is also really, really interesting, the numbers overall offensively have not fell a ton, and things like special teams have gotten better, which may be a bit ironic because of what Seguin has been able to do. If you look in the 9 games since Seguin has been out with an injury, the Stars went 6-2-1 during this 9 games. Goals for 3.22, which is a bit below their overall average this season. They're, of course, top 3 in the league this season. Their goals against has gone down massively in the last 9, 2.78 goals against. But a lot of that has to due to the fact the Stars have been much better defensively. They're getting better goaltending more often than not over the past few weeks, and the schedule has certainly lightened up. So that's certainly a good sign moving forward as well. We touched on the improving defense yesterday. If you're an everydayer out there, Chris Tanev has been a wonderful, wonderful fit. The Stars power play at 29%. They're at 23% this season. So they've certainly been more deadly on the man advantage since Seguin has gone out of the lineup. And the PK's at 76%. So that's actually a bit below. And I think that is a case for a number of things. They haven't been great on the dots. It feels like in special teams, specifically on the penalty kill lately. And Seguin has something to do with that. He's over 52% in the dot this season. But overall, the Stars' numbers in the face-off dot has been extremely, extremely good. But Matt Duchene and Mason Marchment have certainly not been the players that we had seen previously since Seguin left. I mean, it's clear. And Duchene was about a point a game when Seguin left. So I'm curious to see what that does for that line when Seguin returns, because we've all seen what Logan Stankoven, Benn, and Johnston have done since Stankoven got called up. The top line is finding success once again and starting to dominate, and Robertson is getting a rhythm. Pavelski is finding the scoring touch once again. Imagine 3 lines that you could honestly say during this year at some points have been the best line. Recently, it's been the Johnston line. Before that, it was Seguin's line. And really, really early on in the year, I think there was a great case that the top line was the best line. Like Rope and Robo were having a field day early on in the year. You put that all together come playoff time, oh, man. And we document and talk about it ad nauseum how great this Stars offense is. It's hard not to, with how incredible they have been this season, one of the best in the National Hockey League. But as we mentioned yesterday, the real calling card moving forward is going to be this team's defense. It's going to be the reason they win a Stanley Cup. Their offense can certainly get them there, but the defense is what's going to solidify themselves as a true contender and for them to have an opportunity to win the whole darn thing. But Duchene and Marchment, just to combine 5 points in the 9 games since Seguin went down with an injury. So Seguin nearing a return is a great sign for those two, and hopefully for the offense as a whole, because he's already notched 20 goals this season. And it's been a while since we've seen 9-1 on the ice. Happy to have him back here, hopefully shortly. It looks like next week may be a really, really great chance for us to see Seguin once again. They said they're going to keep an eye on it as the week rolls on. The Stars play next Tuesday against Arizona. I think that would be a great chance for him, or next Wednesday, excuse me, against Arizona at home. That may be the earliest we see him. If I just throw a date out there, of course, you don't hold me to it. We'll know more as the week moves on. But with him skating a bit more and doing some more activities with the team, that's obviously a great sign and an indicator for when we will see Seguin. He will not be in the lineup tonight, but the Stars will have to make way without him because the number one team in the National Hockey League is in the building. The Florida Panthers, a hard-nosed, grind-it-out type of team, and they are a front runner for the Stanley Cup this season. A big one at the American Airlines Center tonight. Let's preview the Panthers in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Sleeper. We're past the halfway point in the season, Stars fans. Only a month remains, which is completely crazy. Regardless of where the Stars are in the current standings, I want to remind you, you could win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper. By the way, the Stars are first place in the Central Division. Locked On and Daily Fantasy Hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL Network, has been phenomenal. It's the number one choice for daily fantasy sports and especially daily fantasy hockey, because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contest. All you have to do is pick the studs of the National Hockey League, the Connor McDavids, the Nathan McKinnons, because they rack up a ton of points. And for your chance to win 100 times your bet on Sleeper, all you have to do is pick more or less on certain sleeper projections, things like goals, assists. You can even do a goaltender, such as Jake Ottinger, who's starting to find his groove, more or less on saves, even plus minus in a given game. If you correctly predict the outcome of 8 of those stats, you could win 100 times your bet on Sleeper, Stars fans. 100 times your money playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper. So start paying attention, nail those picks, and you can start winning big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL, by the way. You'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details and location availability. Be sure to check out Locked On Sports Today, Stars fans. It is available on YouTube and on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today, the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, as well as Amazon Fire TV. They have you covered there. Be sure to follow and subscribe to us, Locked On Stars. Hit that notification bell, never miss an episode. Please be sure to like and comment as well. Follow me on the X thing, Joey the Jet 19, or on Locked On Stars. Plenty of stuff going out every single day. And we're gearing up. We're gearing up for the Florida Panthers here tonight. And taking a look at these two teams, there's a lot of similarities, actually, in terms of some statistics. And I think, frankly, a lot of the makeup of both of these clubs. Florida is not sexy. As I mentioned yesterday, they want to punish you. They're really deep on the back end. They have a ton of depth with names that don't jump off the page to you, but they're having incredible years. One of those is Sam Reinhart, who is having himself a season in a contract year. 45 goals in 65 games. He leads the Panthers with 76 points. Matthew Tkachuk has found his stride. He struggled to score earlier this year, but that's not the case anymore. Their back end is so great with guys like Ekblad. Edmund Larson has found a bit of a resurgence. Ekblad actually went down with an injury here a few days ago. So we'll see if he's ready tonight against the Stars. They went all in at the deadline. They went out and got Tarasenko, who scored his first goal in his first game with the Panthers. So they went out and got depth. They're just really, really strong this season. They're a bit opposite in terms of the statistics in offense and defense. Florida right now, the number one team in terms of goals against average, mainly because Sergei Brobrovsky is a complete stud and has carried over from his playoff success last year. 918 save percentage, 2.29 goals against average. They score about middle of the pack in the league, but they certainly have the firepower to hold up with the Stars. They took down Dallas 5-4 in the first meeting. The power plays really, really similar. 26% for Florida, 24 for Dallas. Penalty kills stacked on top of each other at 7th and 9th in the league. And the faceoff dots are both above 50%. They score well over 3 goals per game. And Dallas is improving in terms of goals against. They're below 3 now. Panthers are 8-2 in their last 10. Stars are 6-3-1. So some teams that are playing their best hockey of the season are coming to a head tonight. And I'm thrilled for this matchup. Bobrovsky and Ottinger in net, more than likely. Gustav Forsling in the last 5 games has 6 points. Reinhart leads the way with 4 goals. Jamie Benn actually leads the team with 8 points in their last 5. And I think this is a phenomenal test for the Stars against a team that is heavy up front. They are physical. We're going to get a good look at how the Stars handle this heavy forecheck, a team that wants to get in with pressure. They are relentless. They're the definition of relentless. That's the reason they got to the Cup Finals last year, and they're not flashy by any means. And they have guys like Alexander Barkov, who are just so silky and one of the best center icemen in the National Hockey League. And it just feels like a big-time matchup here tonight at the American Airlines Center. By the way, the Panthers are the best team in the National Hockey League. They've allowed under 2 goals, 1.78 goals against in their last 9 games. 1.78. They have not given up anything. They're 44-17-4, first place in the National Hockey League. They're coming off a 5-1 win against Calgary, excuse me. So the Stars are going to have their hands full trying to find some offense. And I think that's a good test. Can we see the Stars really lock it down? Can Jake Ottinger just have a game where he doesn't allow Florida to get more than 2? Can the Stars defense lock it down in front of Ottinger? And can the Stars score enough? Can they just get enough? I think I would love to see a bit more of them having to find ways to win down the stretch, not just lighting ablaze a team like they did against Anaheim. Can they score enough and shut it down with a lead on home ice? They've been really, really good at home. We haven't seen it a ton because they've been brilliant on the road this season. Great test at home against the number 1 team in the NHL. And I think it would do a lot for the confidence moving forward, especially in February. They did not beat a lot of the good teams during that stretch. But they're rested. They practiced a lot more, expecting good stuff. Hopefully they come back from this 4-game road trip. I could see them being really slow off to start. And you see that a lot with them. They just kind of have a really, really feeling out process in the first 10 minutes of the game. Maybe it's a case where they have to survive that and hopefully get better as the game wears on. And that's going to put pressure on Ottinger to be really good in the start. So hopefully the Stars can catch themselves as the game goes along. Really, really excited for this one. Of course, we'll talk about it tomorrow, have a live reaction tonight. So be on the lookout for that one. Give your predictions. Put your predictions below in the comments section. How you feel about this? Stars win, Stars lose. You know me, I feel pretty good about every matchup. Whether the result turns out in my favor, I don't know. But more often than not, Stars play pretty good. Hopefully it results in a full 2 points tonight. This is a great chance to win against a great team and continue to extend that gap in the Central Division, trying to take home the 1 seed in the Central. And they still have a shot at the 1 seed in the Western Conference. I don't know if that's very coveted right now with the opportunity. You may have to play Vegas, but that's the way it shakes out. This is a great week in Stars hockey because Mike Modano is having his statue unveiled on Saturday. And he will be immortalized forever. Number 9, an article written by Josh Clark, just about the impacts Mike Modano has had, not only on the Stars, of course, but even the legacy he's left behind on guys like Ryan Suter, Joe Pavelski, and of course, Jamie Benn. Some more on that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. That's what brings home the winning trophy. It's also what brings home your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. It's like Chris Tanev. He's the perfect fit. He was the eBay Guaranteed Fit at the trade deadline. Because with eBay Motors, by the way, Stars fans, you're burning rubber, not cash. You're saving money, keeping that ride or die alive. All the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive. ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Motors Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Okay, just a bit of a preview for you, if you will, early on this week as Mike Modano gets his statue unveiled on Saturday. Please throw in the comment section as well your most memorable or favorite Mike Modano memory. As someone that's just 24 years old now, I really grew up with Mike Modano, and Mike Modano was the reason many people in my generation and even before got into the game of hockey, right? The Stars could not have asked for a more brilliant figurehead to lead the charge when they came to Dallas in '93. And of course, his impact is certainly seen and felt even to this day. What he did for the Stars and U.S. hockey in general is incredible. And winning a Stanley Cup did a lot for the game of hockey. You can look back or maybe look ahead or just really come to a head. If the Stars did not win a Stanley Cup in '99, where would they be? Right? If they had never won, I think the franchise is looked in a lot of different light. I think it would absolutely be that way. It certainly did a lot with keeping it here. And Josh Clark wrote this article about his impact, and just wanted to share a few of the notes he put out there because he spoke to Ryan Suter, who of course is a U.S.-born player. His uncle Gary actually played with Modano on the 1996 World Cup team, as well as the 1998 Olympics team. And Suter mentioned when you're a kid, you watch these guys, to get to play with and against them is pretty surreal. Suter actually played against Modano when he was in Nashville, and he was on the precipice of his 501 career goals, which was one short of tying Joe Mullen. And Suter mentioned that his head coach said, hey, if he scores, he's going to take our net. That's not going to happen tonight. And then sure enough, Mike pots two, and then takes home his the net with him. Pavelski, of course, really now is starting to be in the same conversation of Mike Modano for, one of the best U.S. born players ever. And unlike Modano, Pavelski was a late round pick and has put together an incredible milestone. Of course, Mike Modano ended up breaking the scoring title race with Phil Housley against San Jose, as we all remember that. That was something I remember, staying up super late to watch that game, and him breaking that record with a short-handed tally. And Pavelski played in that insane playoff series back in, 2008 against Mike Modano when the Stars won that incredible double overtime game against the Sharks. So Pavelski, of course, has some fond memories of that. And he even mentioned that he's developed a friendship with Modano. They play a lot of golf together. And he mentions that he's just so humble, and what a great teammate he was. And then you look at the captain now, the longest tenured captain ever in Dallas Stars history, and Jamie Benn, who was a rookie when he played with Modano in the final season. And remember, he was with Jere Lehtinen and Mike Modano. I mean, talk about not only trying to live up to that magnitude as a player of Mike Modano, but living up to being the captain of the Dallas Stars. And of course, Brendan Morrow was the captain of the Stars during that period, even when Jamie Benn was there. But look, Mike Modano still was the guy and the symbol and leader of the Stars, right? Even if he didn't have the C on. Jamie Benn learned, I think, how to be a leader and how to be the presence and embodiment of really a franchise cornerstone with the Stars. And he has been over the last decade. And I think that experience with him in a few years is incredible. He was just 20 years of age. And he said that Ben said he had a great relationship. I was just a young kid in that day, but he treated me with respect, and I did the same. Every time he's around, we have a good chat and catch up. He's a busy guy now. When I played with him, no kids, and now he's got 5. So really, really crazy stuff. And Ben's now in his 15th NHL season. So I think Modano certainly has left an incredible legacy. And I mean, hockey in Dallas would probably not have thrived without him. Would not have thrived without a Stanley Cup. Certainly. I think it would still have its place in Dallas, but someone like Mike Modano certainly did not hurt. It only helped, and especially he was U.S. born player, and he embraced coming to Dallas more than anything. And we revere athletes in the DFW Metroplex that want to be here, that stay here long term, and just love the area, right? Dirk Nowitzki, right? I mean, he has his statue unveiled a few years ago, and rightfully so. It's been overdue. Mike Modano will be in the same presence and be right next to him outside on PNC Plaza. So very, very excited to see the finished product. There's a lot of iconic photos. I'm wondering what we're gonna get. Could it be the Stanley Cup, the raising of Lord Stanley? Could it be him just flying around with that jersey flapping? Could it be the mullet? Can we bring back the hockey hair from his draft picture? A lot of different options, but certainly excited to see what they're going to toss out there outside. Fun week here. A fun week of Dallas Stars hockey on this 5-game homestand. Stars taking on the Florida Panthers. You can find it on the Sirius SXM app. Just search Stars to catch on the hometown broadcast as well. Well, that will do it tonight. Puck drop 7 o'clock. Of course, we will break down the game tomorrow. We'll talk about it some more, all that good stuff. Appreciate all you everydayers out there rocking along with me every single day. It's a good time to jump on board here for the Stars down the home stretch. So thank you to anybody that has subscribed recently, that's kind of jumped on board. Always appreciate the love, and we're ready to rock and roll moving forward. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully we enjoy Stars win, and we'll see you tomorrow. So long, Stars fans.